welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show tonight is my mucker Bridgeman and the one and only Port Bristato Bear. How we doing, boys?
How we doing, mate? Nice to hear from you. And also,
I read that right.
Bridgeman.
Port the Fato Bear. Sorry.
I know sometimes I feel I'm shifting more beef than John Wayne.
I love it. And can I just say a big good evening to you guys? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Marvellous victory last night. Marvellous.
Cheers, Bridge. How we doing, Port, with 16 ounces?
Aye, very well, mate. Recommend them to anybody who Aldi. 16 ounce Big Daddy steak, that's the one. For
there
real
is
men.
Supermarkets available.
Yes, there is.
Are they all the same price? The supermarkets, I mean.
Oh, I don't
Big
know.
Daddy steaks.
You need to try it, mate. Real man's meal.
He's that on toothbrush. I think he has daddy's sauce on it and all.
Very good. Very good there.
How you recovered for your 90s episode?
Aye.
Next time I'm putting you with Jodie. Next time I'm putting you with Jodie.
No. I'll not be bullied in any way. It's an equal world now, Oxchair. I'll not be having that.
We'll see about that. I'm going to go and get GB. I'm going to get him out of therapy tomorrow.
Aye, you're still in. I spoke to him. He said he was still attending counselling.
Poor boy.
Aye, brilliant.
Right, we'll have a wee view for the bridge, if that's all right with you, Port.
Yeah, mate.
And then we'll have a wee chat with you after Bridge's view for the bridge. And then we'll open the phone lines. That sounds like a plan?
That's a great plan.
You all right with that, the gaffer, Mr. Bridge?
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
Right, let's have a view from the bridge.
View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Long time. Welcome to A View from the Bridge. And we'll start with last night's game. Rangers made 7 changes to the team for this Scottish Cup tie at Ibrox. Ended a 4-0 victory to the famous against Cove Rangers. Was about the best that Cove could have hoped for. Should have been a lot more. The game, on kick-off, Rangers looked well up for the game, full of confidence and easy on the ball. Promising for Rangers. In 3 minutes, a lovely long ball by Davis. Picks out right, and he beats 2 defenders and gets into the box and tries a shot, which is blocked by Graham. And out for a corner to Rangers. Great pass by Davis, good shot by Wright. On 8 minutes, a lovely passing movement down the right sees Arfield, get a nice pass to Roof, who passes it back to the advancing Davis, who pushes a first-time pass down the wing to Patterson. He makes a great run for the line and cuts the ball back into the box for the unrushing Roof, who gets in a shot which just goes wide. Unlucky there, really good play by Rangers. On 9 minutes, Rangers started to motor here, looking great. In 10 minutes, the ball breaks to Defoe on the edge of the box. He controls it, turns inside to the left and tries a shot, which is blocked by Graham and goes out for a corner. On 11 minutes, corner taken by Davis, beats everyone and goes to the back post, where Roof gets a touch on it for control and gets in a snapshot, which bounces off the back post and into the keeper's arms. On 21 minutes, Davis picks up the ball near to the halfway line and passes to Kamara, who gets a first-time pass onto Defoe. He controls the ball and strides forward, takes 2 steps or 3, and drills in an unstoppable 25-yard shot low into the left-hand corner. 1-0 to the famous. Great goal, Defoe. Great pass by Kamara. Smashing play. On 31 minutes, Cove get themselves into a defensive mess, and the ball breaks to Defoe at the left-hand angle of the box. At Cove's box, sorry. He holds it up, and Roof manages to pounce and smash it into the net. 2-0 to the famous. Great pass by Defoe. Great shot by Arfield, and tremendous following up and scoring by Roof. On 32 minutes, Wright receives the ball from Arfield inside the Cove box. He then squares a low ball for Roof, who beats the defender into the defender to the ball and smashes it high into the net from around the 6 yards. 3-0 to the famous. Great goal by Roof and a great pass by Wright. On 43 minutes, Cove get caught out again in defence, trying to play out of their area. Poor pass is read by Patterson, who drives in and beats the defender to the ball, strides into the box, and just close to the penalty spot, and as a shot, scores with the outside of his right foot, and the keeper well beaten. 4-0 to the famous. Brilliant goal by Patterson. Half time 4-0. Second half starts with Yanis Hadji replacing Stephen Davis. It's safe to say that Rangers played the second half trying to hold the score, and the score they had, but continued to press incessantly, creating chances after chances and getting in lots of shots. Cove would be delighted to get out of Ibrox with the score as it was. Wright played his first full game for Rangers, and what a game he had. Just brilliant tonight. Marvellous display. Looks like a good bit of business by our manager. Patterson is just an excellent player for Rangers. Scored a good goal and all round a smashing game. Bassey also had a tremendous game tonight. Came on to a bit of form. Well done. Full-time final score 4-0 for the Rangers. Player by player out of 10. McLaughlin 7, Patterson 9, Goldson 8, Helander 7, Bassey 8, Arfield 7, Davis 9, Kamara 8, Wright 9, Defoe 8, and Roof 8. Excuse me. Man of the match, I gave that to Wright, closely followed by Davis, Patterson, and Defoe. So it was really difficult to choose it between them. I'm sure they were all brilliant, and people have their own ideas of that. Possession, 66% to Rangers, 34% to Cove. And I've put a note in here saying most of the possession for Cove was holding the ball and playing out of their box. Holding the ball in their box and then playing out of their box. So that's most of their possession, I would say. Shots, 27 shots for Rangers, 0 for Cove. Shots on target, 6 for Rangers, 0. I've got that right here. Shots, I've got that ring way around. It's 3. Oh, never mind. It's 6-0 anyway. 6 for on target, 0 for Cove. Corners, 6 for Rangers, 1 for Cove. Fouls, 10 for Rangers, 5 for Cove. And Bridgman says, well done Rangers, thanks for the lovely football played in the first half and the goals scored. 4 going on 14. Only one negative for me, the ref. Gave 2 yellow cards to Rangers players, could easily have been, it just should have been 3 free kicks. So get a free kick and get on with it. No hardly, shut up mate, I can't read. He hardly spoke to any Cove players, never mind giving them yellow cards. Mr. Clancy is best, I suggest. And that's the end of A View from a Bridge.
View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore.
Well, Pope, Mr. Bridge is very generous in his markings, I must say, but over to you, mate.
Aye, probably a good bit generous actually. I don't often disagree with Bridgeman. He knows that very well. I thought the first 15 minutes was pretty sticky, mate. Apart from the fact we, created 3 glorious chances to take, an early lead in the first 10 minutes, I still found it sticky and, not as flowing for a team of their level, Oxford. But what it's set up an Old Firm derby with Celtic in the 4th round of the Scottish Cup, after they easily dispatched, Cove Rangers, if we're absolutely honest. Kamar Roof's double, superb. Jermaine Defoe rolling back the years, showing that he's still got that finish in him, that quality. And my favourite goal of them all last year was Nathan Parsons.
Man,
it's the way he's seen that, mate, from and that he's got on it. His pace is excellent, mate. He's quicker. You mentioned this first, so I'm going to steal a bit of your thunder here. He is quicker than Tav, and I actually think he's as good a finisher as Tav, because the way he took that finish outside his boot and put it in the corner, it was awesome, mate. That's who I gave my man of the match to. I thought young boy was excellent throughout the game, defending and getting forward. Closely with Scott Wright as well, who had a great, full type for first start debut from the outlet. Would I like to more goals? Probably. But, you know, but the boys were 7 changes a lot, so in my opinion, the boys tried their best. You know, they're a very professional job in the next round. You know, and what it's shown there's a lot to play for Oxford, and we've got a big responsibility to get this Scottish Cup, mate. Sorry.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that word professional. Listen, we played fit better. What pleased me was the tempo we tried to play the game. Even in the second half, we were trying to score the perfect goal. We were still using it to play at a fast tempo as a training session. Because that's what it was. It was a glorified training session for the team. Because the gulf between the two teams was massive. Bridgman?
100% right. The gulf was just tremendous. And I don't think that game should have been played, to be honest with you. I have a great... as soon as clubs turn around and tell us they're going to be potentially dropping players, and I think Falkirk dropped about 9 players or something like that, you know. It makes a mockery of the game. However, Rangers went out and done it. They cleaned their shoes, got out and did the business. They were tremendous. And yes, it was kind of a glorified training session. I'm mystified by the referees and the linesmen and so on. So some of the decisions they made. However, that's just pettiness.
I thought Davis could have got booked, mate. I thought it could have been a booking, mate. The Bassey one, well, I don't know, but Davis, it was a stupid challenge he didn't have to make. What?
He's not, you know, known for that. Oxshire, he's definitely not known for that, and I can kind of get.
Once he gets a bit of experience, Stephen, he'll be better.
Aye, got him a caps under his belt, mate, and he'll maybe learn. Look, I just think they've got a responsibility, mate, when it comes to representing this club. I mean, the league was fantastic, but what we want to see now is the start of a catalyst for more. You know, that should be yesterday, the Cove game. We know who we're playing the next round and the next round after that. But for me, the catalyst is the Cove game, mate. It might mean not a lot to people because it's only Cove Rangers, but that should be the new catalyst to take us to our next trophy, mate, in my opinion.
Hopefully you're right. Hopefully you're right. Okay, get yourself some mute so the box plays the jingle. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I'm glad you mentioned the boy Patterson and Wright. They were, for me, Davis showed his class in the first half, passing it about. I thought the boy Wright looks like an entertainer, and Bridgman, he's got something about him that I didn't know he had, mate. His speed, his tenacity, and he's got a trick in him.
I think he's a smashing looks a great player. It's his first chance. He came on to start the game and go do the business. And like the rest of the team, first 10-15 minutes was a wee bit sticky, as Port Bear was saying. But the truth of the matter is, we were still by far and away the better team in that sticky period. And seriously, when the first goal went in, you just thought, it's going to be as many as you like. But we seemed to switch off after half time. No complaints about it. It's a glorified training session.
We made enough opportunities in the second half, Bridge.
Oh, yes. Defoe must have had maybe 10 chances, shots and goals himself.
You know, but we just never put the ball in the net.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen, here's what I'm going to ask you. Is there a question about the boy Wright? He's come in there and Gerard's saying he's not quite the finished article. He's not fit enough, Port Bear. That's say about the rest of Scottish football.
Exactly, mate. I don't know if you picked up on his interview mentioning he needs to get bigger glutes and he needs to, get bigger this and bigger that. I don't know what sort of gym work they're doing, mate. But he even mentioned about his body. He needs to, get bigger, stronger.
I'm glad we're not turning up in pre-season.
I forgot what a glute was. I had to Google it. But he did.
I think Stevie thought he said he needs to get bigger flutes.
But if that's the details, Oxford, like you're touching on, Scottish football, I've been very critical this year of Scottish football. And one thing I will say about Cove, mate, at least they tried to play it for the back.
Right.
But in regards to Gerrard, what you're saying about him, he's looking for the small details, mate. If it means you have to bulk up because he expects his players to do a lot of running back, especially his wingers. We know this. That's what I think he's touching on, mate. Because he wants him to be stronger, so he's not like push on the ball, etc.
Aye.
Somehow or other, I haven't heard the manager's what do you call it? Manager's interview. I haven't heard it at all.
Oh, listen to last night's show and you'll hear it.
Okay.
We just a point you made there, Port. I'll go to Bridge because Bridge is of a certain generation. Ever in a doubt, get it out. Don't put the ball across your box. Push up the park. All these things just seem to have disappeared out of the game, didn't they?
Well, you watched that team last night and they were trying to play, including the goalkeeper, they're trying to play across the box, out to the fullback, or out to the centre halves and then back in again. And everybody, they were certainly trying to make give them an out, wherever they were. But that made up, I would suggest, and I'm not being funny when I say this, that made up about 50% of their possession. Their possession figures were all about the possession they had in their own box. They're quite incredible, However, I think when we were playing, even a bounce game, you don't play across the goal. You don't play across the goal. You get a sore face.
Poor Bear. Am I wrong? Or?
No, you're 100% right, mate. And another thing seems to be missing for the game is throw-ins. Can I just throw at you?
Hey, don't get me going. Big Shirley, he's turning up at my door in the morning. I'm going to take him round the park and show him how to throw a ball.
You've got young Patterson on the opposite side. You can throw it. You can take a shy. I think you need to take big basket aside and see one big man. You're bigger built than me. I'm not sure you can take a throw-in. No, the basics, the fundamentals of football, mate, aren't they? You learn that when you're playing under-8 football and stuff, not to pass across your own goal, etc., etc.
What would they go? Big Shirley's throw-ins. Oh dear, did you notice that, Bridge?
I think I've always thought Bassey isn't a great throw-in taker unless the guy's maybe 20 yards max, or coming closer, running on it. Other than that, the ball could go anywhere. And it slips out his hand a lot, Slips out his hand. Shocking. But I mean, they were saying it. Sorry?
I know it's no textbook football that the fullback takes all the throw-ins, but if you're playing that position, it's something you should be able to do, and it's part of the game.
Absolutely. And I think that boy Patterson's probably the best throw-in taker that we've got at the club. I'm not being funny. Even Tab, I don't like Tab taking throw-ins because invariably doesn't know what he's doing with them.
It's your out Oxshire, isn't it? If you can't get a guy to come and take the ball off you and take it in tight and turn and get through that first phase, but we were always told, weren't you, up the line, you threw it as far as you could.
Especially if you're winning 2-1, there's 5 minutes to go. Port Bear has time to do certain things. All right, okay, I know we're no. I think it's great that teams are trying to play decent football, but I still think there's times where you've got a goal kick, you push your team up the park.
Aye, definitely. But like I say, mate, many teams have you seen in the Premier League coming and trying doing that at Ibrox, trying to actually play from the back, mate. So, as I said, I take my hat off to Co for trying it.
To be fair, Motherwell tried it. They had other players in the 6-yard box passing each other.
I suppose that's a bit different, aye. But certainly, Premier League this year, we found most teams, majority of teams that come to Ibrox sit in with 10 men behind the ball and expect us to break it down, which we've done so fabulously. So, for Cove, as I say, to come out and at least try and play it for the back and stuff. Did they get caught out quite a lot? They did, because we pressed them. We pressed teams like that in Europe last year. So, and we do very well at it. So, pressing a team of Cove's ability, which is, a big gap between, quality there. But as I said, I take my hat off to him.
Well, with a few messages directed at you, Mr. Bridge.
Go on, pal.
About Scott Wright, are you glad we signed him or no happy?
Oh, he's a smashing player. What do you mean I'm glad they signed him? He was
Aberdeen some money, didn't we?
no. It was the same. It was the same as Kamara. He was coming at the end of the season anyway.
But we gave them some money, didn't we? We gave Aberdeen some money.
I don't know. Did we?
I
thought it was the boy McCrory.
We took it after the McCrory deal.
It's a deal, wasn't it? It's the same as Kamara. Did a deal. The guy gets us the last 6 months, which gives him a chance to bed in. Same as Kamara. No problems for me.
Well,
I don't want him to buy them. I just don't want him to go out and buy them. That's all.
Steal them. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'd be quite happy for that boy Wright to stay at Aberdeen, but he wouldn't have been. And you can see he wouldn't have been.
I think that's a great thing if you can do it. I think there's a lot of sense in our club. That makes sense. We've done it quite a few times. We've done it with Hadji. We've done it with... We brought in Davis and Defoe. We had a look to see if they're going to give us anything. We've done it with Balogun with a year options. They would play so many games. Port Bell, there's a lot of sense there. Huh?
We've been very shrewd, mate, haven't we? We became a club who was, in my opinion, at one point were scattergun and buying anybody they could. You think about Joey Barton and all them sort of players that come in, Kiernan and all them, So I think now, under Ross Wilson, I think we've got a fantastic director of football who's really got his finger on the pulse in England on the cross-border deals, but also, as we've noticed, he knows the Scottish game as well, because he knows there is players in Scotland that have quality, and that maybe wee raw gems that you can, coach. There's a couple I think are worth looking at as well. Oxdear, the boy Nisbet that plays for Hibs, I think he's one that we'll put maybe an eye on. And then that young boy's Ali McCann at St Johnstone. I see he gets first cap during the week for Northern Ireland. I think he's looks a bit of potential as well, mate. But our team, our scouting team, and Ross Wilson have definitely got a finger in the pulse, mate, when it comes to making deals. They're very, very shrewd now.
I'm quite keen on seeing them doing some of the cross-border deals. Where you get the guy and it's like a £100,000, £200,000 because that's the deal. Whereas before that, they could go on loan or whatever for the same amount of money. So
he's got two already, isn't he, Bridgeman? He's got two already. He's got the boy Simpson.
That's the kind of deals I'm meaning when you say deals. That's the kind of deals that I would prefer if it's possible, to get them done like that. I like when we're dealing up here, I only want to go for players that are out of contract. I think that's the best, which we're doing. You can see that. And we're stepping in and okay, sometimes we get involved in some sort of wee bit of a deal for like Kamara. And what a steal that is. What a steal.
Wow.
And that boy Wright may turn out to be an even bigger steal, truth be told. And just fantastic. Great business by the club. Great business.
He started off his career pretty well, fans favourite. There's a goal just to launch him, the boy Wright. Going back to Nisbet, mate, I've watched him a couple of times. I don't know, mate. I don't know if he's any better than, say, Lawrence Shanklin, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
I think Shanklin might actually be a better finisher. I think Lawrence could play a high level if he just did another half a yard of pace, because I think he's no bad at leading the line. Nisbet's no bad, but I don't know if he's the quality we're looking for. But again, it's all coming in and playing with better players and getting, looks like, better training port, and you move on, eh?
Exactly, mate. It's just, you touched on a minute ago. I mean, who would have thought Scott Wright would kick off his career so far away as at Rangers? And then we got Glenn Kamara, 50 grand. When we signed him, I didn't know a lot about him.
I never even noticed Scott Wright playing against. I don't know if he ever did.
No.
I never noticed him.
That's what I mean, mate. So you know what it's like when you move up the levels in football, when you play with better players and train with them every day, your level is either going to go either one or two ways. You're either going to grow with the players, or you're going to find that you've maybe peaked your level at the previous club you were at. Glenn Kamara might have come in and not hit the ground the way he did, and might have been Dundee level all along, but he's proven, he's possibly beyond Rangers level, Oxdear, in Europe and in the league. So, there's rough diamonds out there, mate. We just have to get them in. And our coaching staff seem to be very good at polishing them, mate, and making them much better players than we originally thought. But I'm like you, I hadn't even seen Scott Wright. I'd be lying if I did. I didn't see him.
I only saw him the once when we played Aberdeen. That's the only time I had seen him, and he looked no bad. Not a bad player. Not that I thought he was a star of anything like that. He looked not a bad player against us. And I was delighted when we got him. But initially, when we started doing it, we were talking about a straight transfer. And I said, no, Aberdeen will want £1 million or something like that for him, No interested. As soon as the Rangers come in, they're looking for huge swaths of money for absolutely nothing. I'm fed up giving them money. That's why I always say, don't give them a penny. Nothing. If you can help it. I'll be delighted with that.
I think it'll be interesting to see who was signed. Obviously, I'm going to say something about yesterday. See that boy Greg Stewart when he came on? I know he only got a wee cameo yesterday. I tell you what, he does a lot right on the football part, doesn't he?
He's an intelligent footballer, mate. I've seen about him, and one thing he's never done is let the heat get down, is he? He knows he's not had much game time, but when he gets his opportunities, mate, he's definitely got a footballing brain, Oxtail. I just think he's at the wrong place at the wrong time. I just think there's too many players in their positions running about there that are just ahead of him, mate, and that's all it is. It's just the wrong time. Maybe another time at Rangers it would all worked out for him. I don't wish I had any ill will. Or I like him. He's definitely got a bit of quality about him, but it's just not going to happen for him at Rangers. I don't think, mate. Unfortunately.
Well, I think I'm not dead sure whether he's would ever be true Rangers level, But he is quite a good player, and I quite like him, particularly when he's out in the right, coming into the left. He always likes to have a good shot, which I like to see. But the truth of the matter is, I don't see the manager at the moment saying, "You come and stay with us, we'll look after you." I just don't see it. He's not said anything, of course, the manager, but we don't know.
He's at the door. He's at the door, Bridge. I'm just
saying that he hasn't said anything to him like come and stay, and like he's going to go. He's going to go.
What's he had? What was that? 2 years? He's had 2 years.
Aye,
2, yeah. 2.
He's lived the dream, Oxtail. He's had that. He's been at a club that not many players could actually say they've even graced. So, and he'll want the next probably 3 years, 4 years at a club where he's going to be playing regular. That's what Greg Stewart needs to be doing at that age. Is be playing regular. Let's just be honest. It's just a shame it didn't work. I mean, it didn't work out at Rangers, and that's it.
No. I'm glad you mentioned the boy Patterson, Bridgeman. I'll put it out there. I think he's faster than Tav. He's better in the air than Tav. He can throw the ball better than Tav. He might be a better tackler than Tav. But I don't think he's a better player than Tav yet. There you go. Does that make sense, Portbear?
You said yet, mate. That you said the operative word right at the very end. Yeah, this boy is going to be a star. This guy's going to be the right side. In my opinion, he reminds me so much of Andy Robertson at Liverpool. I think he's going to be an absolute star. He's got it all, mate. He can go forward. He can defend. I remember some of the blocks he's made, particularly one in Europe in the last round. He sees the danger in behind, and he's got absolute pace to burn, mate. And the thing he's got is a finish. He's a good guy to learn that for. But Tav's now got to start looking over his shoulder, mate, because this boy is coming, and he's coming fast. But I can see this boy being a real star.
Bridgeman?
Well, I don't know if he's faster than Tav, to be honest. I wouldn't put money on that.
I would. In a sprint, I think he definitely looks faster than Tav.
I'm not going to argue with you. I just don't know. I've never thought about it that way. I do think the boys are going to be a smashing player. He's only had, 4, 5 appearances this year. Is it this year or this season? Can't remember. However, he's up against Tavernier. It's very difficult to get into a team with a person like that playing. And Tavernier is a true athlete for sure. So it depends what's going to happen with Tav. If Tav wants to stay, or is he going to be injured, and so on and so forth. Because you're going to have a wee conundrum there. What are you going to do with this boy? As we say, I think he's going to be a star. You can't hold a star back. Sometimes it's just got to come out, isn't it? And yeah, he takes throw-ins a lot better. And I don't think he's a better free kick taker. What I don't see him doing. No, but I'm saying what I don't see him doing is I don't see him taking corners.
No.
And Stephen Davis takes all the corners. And it's strange to see that. You're used to seeing your wing back taking corners, That's all. Mm-hmm. But I think he's a smashing player, the boy. Wonderful game he had last night. Absolutely wonderful game.
I mean, I think we've got to watch. It's easier. You know, the opposition, their legs in the game had gone. I mean, they kind of get carried away, but I was really pleased the way we tried to play the game, where even in the last 10 minutes, we're chasing down, stopping them, and using the game to the maximum to build up.
That's how I touched on, mate. Regardless who the opposition was the other day, the catalyst for this next push, you mentioned it back, I think the last time I spoke to you on the show, about 17 games to go, possibly. If things went a certain way, we've obviously stayed in Europe, etc. But this should be the catalyst to drive us on now, mate. The Scottish Cup has to be the driving force behind us. We have to keep, focused. We have to keep playing the same style of football, regardless in who we're playing. And we don't. This attitude of never giving up. I mean, as you said, last 10 minutes we're still chasing them down in the rain half, and try to press them in the rain half of their box. I think that's just the way we play now, mate. And I just think these teams are going to find it very difficult against us. And the Old Firm game being the next game, you may as well get the wee teams out first, mate.
Very good, pal. Very good. I like that. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't too happy about them having the draw before our game was done. In fact, Queen of the South are they playing tonight against Hibs? What's the matter with them? Why are they doing all this?
What game did the day after, or did the day live on Sky?
No, yesterday at 2 o'clock.
Where was it? They must have done it somewhere.
Oh, I couldn't tell you, pal. I couldn't tell you. All I know is I found out it was done. And we were playing, so what the hell is this? So it's obviously it's time oriented for them. They have to announce it for the TV companies, I would imagine, and so on and so forth. And I kind of believe that we, Rangers and Queen of the South, and Hibs, so Rangers and Cove Rangers, so there's 4 teams. Oh, the rest of them played on Saturday, right? And then on the Sunday, before any of the Sunday games play, they come out with a draw. I'm not happy with that at all. Not that it matters, it doesn't really matter, so I'm not worried. But, no. They don't matter. They don't matter. Sorry, guys. I'm raging, absolutely fuming at it.
I think they're just looking for prep. Bridgeman, I think they're just trying to get the cup competition.
Did they live on Sky, did they?
I didn't see it, mate. I actually read it the next, maybe a few years after the Saturday games. That obviously we drew Celtic, and then the next round after that's either Clyde and St Johnstone we play. So,
but they drew it yesterday.
That's right.
So there's no game was played before ours. So our game was Sunday night, and this game tonight. What's that about? Why are they putting 2 games away out there and they make the draw in between? No. So the teams that played before us and Saturday, they all know who's the winner of that tie, and the 2 teams that don't get playing because of what? Because of TV? Nah, it's right. It's just not.
No, it was done online. According to Fox, done online.
There you go.
All right.
I've got no idea. All I know is that I saw the answers to them, and I thought, gee whiz, we haven't even played yet. And I thought, it's Hibs. What is going on? But that's the way the SFA run it, and there's not much you can do. Can't do nothing about it.
Well, once again, they used to work the people who do the English draws pay back their sponsors by making an event of it and having it after the game and giving their sponsors their place. There you go. We can't do nothing right.
But that's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Honestly, I've not got a problem when I'm doing it at the allotted time, Bridge. I don't have a problem with that. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it was on yesterday afternoon. I assumed it was either after our game or the Hibs game.
That's exactly when I thought it would be. After our game. I'd forgotten all about them playing tonight. Hibs and Queen of the South and Hibs. I'd forgotten all about them. Maybe they did as well, truth be told. I was under that impression. So it should have been really tonight after their game. Hibs and Queen of the South. And I saw the teams that would be through. Obviously, I can't do it.
We'll see.
Aye, of course we will. Of course we will.
We'll see where it takes us. Big game keeps us on our toes for the next 2 weeks up to that. Then we play them again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks after that, the league trophy, and a week after that, the Scottish Cup final. Could be an exciting finish, Port.
That's what I'm getting at, mate. I think just touching on what Bridgeman said, I just think they're trying to make sure that obviously they're drawing, getting the draws all done, make sure everybody knows who's playing, what dates are set, etc. You know, and what an exciting time we've got over the next, 4 to 6 weeks, mate. Playing Celtic in this cup, playing them again in a couple of weeks' time, as you're touching on. But it's fantastic, mate. It keeps it. We thought, in my personal opinion, I thought the season was sort of petering out. We weren't sure at the time if the Scottish Cup was going to go ahead. All of a sudden, boom, Scottish Cup's going ahead. We draw Celtic in the next round, and we're playing them again. And like I keep saying, to continue to drive them down, how much a body blow would it be if they end up with no trophies? We put them out to the sword again, and then fortnight's time again after that, we beat them again, mate. That's a psychological, double blow, if you ask me. Oh.
You're not asking for much, are you?
No.
I'm sure we'll discuss it as the days and weeks go on, mate. I'm sure we'll mention it once or twice in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But get yourself a mute, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye. So we'll see where it takes us. Really makes this time of the season where some people might have thought it was going to be quiet, quite exciting, eh?
Aye, as I said, I thought the season was petering out, mate. I really did. I didn't think the Scottish Cup was going to go ahead, obviously because of the pandemic and stuff. But as we're getting to grips with the pandemic, by all accounts, and number wise, it looks as if things are changing. We maybe get fans back in the stadiums quicker than we actually thought. So I think having the Scottish Cup and the way things have worked out, it gets us all buzzing again, doesn't it? At one point we were all partying for the last probably 3 weeks. Some days 4 weeks, and because the league's been over. In my opinion, it's been over since the 2nd of January. I said that on the show many times, but I think instead of the season petering out to nothing, we've got some excitement back, another trophy to win, and that'll keep Bears alive. It'll keep the players alive, and keep us all loving this team under Steven Gerrard, mate, because they just look stronger and stronger every time you see them playing. And we add in guys like Wright, who again, like we touched on, we didn't know much about. He certainly showed me enough of the cameos he's had, and then his first start yesterday that we may have unearthed a wee gem there as well, mate. So that's exciting for me as well. Can't wait to see more of Jack Simpson and the other boy when he finishes for Wickham. I'm not going to mention his name. I can't say it. That's Big Jimmy's one. But no, mate, it's going to be an exciting end to the season now because we're playing for a trophy again.
Yeah, absolutely, pal. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, we're looking good. I'm really looking forward to the next 2 games against them at Ibrox. It's going to be immense. It's just a pity we can't get in, fans wise. It's just a pity we can't get in. It'd be great. 2 games at 1 in a row. Imagine winning those 2 games. Wow. If Carlsberg made seasons. This would be
shaping up, but you have to go there on the park.
Yeah,
that's all they need to do. And I watched them last night, and anybody who watched us against Cove Rangers last night, particularly in the first half, in fact, particularly in the last half hour of the first half, we were just completely outstanding. We dominated every part of the pitch, dominated everything, and they were tremendous. The boys were great. The youngsters, I thought Bassett, what a game he had.
You think, Pitch?
I thought he had a great game. Oh, that's because I just wanted to see the boy play. So I thought Bassett had a smashing game. He's not the best player in the world, of course not. And he's not got the class the young Parsons got. And you see him sprinting about him. I just think
he might be even quicker than Patterson, from being honest.
It could be. It looks like he's got it. He's big, and sometimes heavy. Big and heavy. Sometimes that doesn't work too well, but he doesn't get. He seems to be able to go up there, and he's not scared to go forward and cross the ball. Speaking about crossing the ball, I was reading something that Barisic, I reckon Barisic is going to be named the best left back in Europe.
Port Ben, I'll let you take that, mate.
Aye, I read the same article.
Did you, pal?
Rizman, yep, he's basically ahead of Jordi Alba from Barcelona when it comes to assists, and then obviously Miles up and down that left hand side.
Yeah.
And a wise man like you told me today said to me, doesn't matter what club you play for, whether it's in Barcelona or Real Madrid, that position and you play that style, you're still going to get all them assists and all them, goals and the miles running. So doesn't matter what league he's in, mate, he's still doing it. He's doing it for Croatia as well. So Borna's been excellent this season in my opinion. He's really grown into that jersey, and you were one of the ones that stuck by him. I remember that back in the day. You stuck by him the whole way through. And
he's got class. He's got class, pal. He's got class.
He's a very, 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 very good international player.
What about Borna Barisic?
I think we've followed Borna closely. He's playing for us, and there's some people maybe don't like some of the things he does. Personally, I think he's got the best left foot in the UK. He'll want to whack say balls in. Great measure on them. Fantastic. He's just a tremendous player, and he loves getting down there. And I love the interplay between him and young Kent. It's tremendous. Great to watch.
Him, Kent and Kamara have got an understanding.
Oh, yeah.
That
Kamara just gets... I'm not being funny. I think he just gets better and better.
Even yesterday when he moved into the middle, mate, he just done it simple, moved it, but everything he done with... I'm not having a go at Scotty. I didn't think Scotty had a great game last night. He looks as if he's boyed a wee bit of confidence, needs something to happen for him. In my opinion, I might be wrong, but if you looked at the way Kamara passed the ball to the way Scott passed the ball, it's just at this moment in time, the two of them are in different places. Port?
Aye, there's definitely something missing for Arfield's game at the moment, and the only thing I think it could be, mate, like yourself, I think it's confidence. A goal would get him going again, I think. Glenn Kamara, I absolutely love Glenn Kamara. He's just so graceful and elegant on the ball, mate. He's a true European footballer. He really is. You can tell he's been schooled at Arsenal. You can tell, he makes the game look so easy. Some of the touches and the way he just, it glides over the ball, etc. He's a player, mate. He's a player, and we're very lucky to have him at the moment. I tell you, appreciate what you've got, mate, because he's a very, very good footballer.
Good.
Yeah. When we just were talking there, and when he moves into the middle, he just watching him last night, and I thought to myself, after about 10 minutes of him in the middle, and I thought to myself, we never need to worry about replacing Davis, because Kamara can do that job. He's just superb, that's what I thought. But I think. Sorry.
That crossed my mind as well.
Yeah. Just. When you watch some of the guys we've got, when you watch them, I watch them quite intently sometimes. So I love to see people playing, and I love to see good players, and it's really nice to see them and playing their own game, and it's lovely. And I thought Kamara came right into it last night. And by the way, anywhere you put him in the pitch, he'll give you the same type of game, and that's for sure. So I think that people like whom I admire greatly, young Aribo's got a wee bit to go before he gets the steadiness of what Kamara gives, and probably never reach what Stephen Davis gives. But Aribo's a fantastic player. He had wonderful skills. But that boy right last night, all he needs is a couple of goals. That's all he needs, a couple of goals. Just boost the confidence, and away he goes. He'll not hold him back. And I loved watching Morelos throwing bits of paper about last night in the stand. That's just radio rental.
The faces he pulls. He's quite a
it's
comical.
incredible.
He seems to be in a good place at the moment, Oxford, doesn't he?
No me golf, isn't he? And he's chuckling where his shoulders are going.
That's his captain, you know what I mean? That's his captain. He's looking for things that he's captain me, It's just absolutely excellent. But that says a lot for him. For me, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable about where his mind's at in Oxford, because even though he didn't get a start yesterday, he never spatted dummy out. he's up there beside his teammates, having a bit of crack. You know, he's in a good place at the moment, mate. He seems to be pretty happy where he is, which we could have probably said a few months ago we weren't sure, but he seems to be in a right good place mentally and physically at the moment, mate. Definitely.
Okay, what I was going to ask you too is you mentioned Bassey, and obviously that didn't come on yesterday. They're the real sort of fringe players. The rest of the guys have been really regular. White's new to the club, Patterson's slowly established himself. Do you think that obviously their first season, they're just in the door, and there's not that much game time? Bassey had a bit of a wobble at Love Street, where I think hopefully learn for it. You've got to go out and play with the head on when you play for Rangers, doesn't matter who you're playing. How do you see them in the team going forward or in the squad? Portbear, Embridge.
I think eventually I can see Bassey. If I'm totally honest, mate, I don't think he's got the mobility like Bonner's got and the crossing ability, etc., to be a left back. I see that guy as a centre back, mate. He's big enough, he's strong enough, and he is quick. You know what I mean? But I think he'd be a better centre back. I don't think you get the same off him out that side. On Cedric Itten, I think when I looked at his last season under St Gallen, he got his 30 goals, mate. I don't think he's done enough games. But if you think that's some of your most important goals of this season to get is, you know, the big gaps in points. If you remember Cedric Itten's goal against Motherwell, I'm sure it was, he comes off the bench and gets a winner. I think the guy's definitely got an eye for goal, mate, and his finishes that he's had and his goals this season have been pretty good. I just don't think he's had enough of a chance.
Mm-hmm. Bridge?
Well, when you think that the way he plays for us is probably not the same way he played for St Gallen, who was playing for, isn't it? So I just doubt very much if we'll ever see him playing the same way as St Gallen, but they're going to convert him into the way we play. But you see sometimes when he's loose in the box and he picks the ball up, he can play some football. He can definitely play and bring people in as well. And when you see him running back the way to fetch the ball, similar to what you see Morelos doing, slightly a different way, of course. But you see it all happening for him. So he's got quite a bit of learning to do to sort of, if Morelos goes, is it going to be your number one? And so on and so forth. But when he gets in the box and he plays back to his own way of playing, and he's got a bit of time to make his mind up, he scores a lot of goals, that boy. Definitely. Scores a lot of goals. But that'll not happen a lot because we don't always play that way, you know.
Hope yourself, Ox, how do you see Toom develop? You remember Morelos was a rough time, and
Itten showed at times when he gets the ball, particularly that the away game in Europe where he done the lone striker himself. He had a really good game away in Poland, wasn't it?
Yep.
And he scored a couple of good goals. One against Motherwell, came off the bench and done okay for us. He looks raw, but I mean he's 23, 24, so he's moving. You couldn't put him down as a real youngster.
No.
You know, so would he be a automatic pick if Alfie was to leave us for a lot of dough? Don't think so, mate, if I'm being honest. But we'll see what it takes us. Bassey, he's fast, he's strong. I wouldn't say he's got quick feet, but he's very quick. And up until that St Mirren game, he hadn't done a lot wrong. Well, I've not really seen him since then, you know. So, good cover. He is young, so he can develop and move on. So, maybe out the two of them, maybe Bassey, maybe get a better chance long term because of his age.
One thing you certainly can't doubt is your coaching staff, Oxford. If you think some of the players that, you know, have had, I'm going to use Morelos as the, you know, probably pure resistance, you know, examples. When 3 seasons ago, my first fight signed Morelos, to me he was very raw, you know, eye to eye for goal. But when I watch Morelos of now, is he not have developed under their coaching staff? So one thing we can't doubt, mate, is our coaching staff's ability to make a player, or you know, and make a player better than they certainly were. So that's one thing I've not a doubt. I think whatever's there, if it can be coached, it will be coached, mate. Definitely.
That's a good point, actually. Well said. Good point.
But it has to be there first and foremost.
Yeah.
I mean, we brought Cedric Hitton in, but does he work out? Well, no criticism on the boy or the coaching staff. You're not going to get everything spot on, and I'll be whether he'll want another year with so little opportunities. So he might have a decision to make. He might not chat with the gaffer's door and say, look, I've loved it, but I want to play more. Can you get me a move? And if we get our money back, plus, we'll be happy, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I just think that he needs more time, obviously. And this season, time is what we didn't have, certainly until now, around about now. But it doesn't matter what we do. Next game's going to be the biggest game of the season, if you follow what I mean, Because if we want to, depends what we want to do as a team. Do we want to go to the end of the season undefeated? Yes, if we can, yeah. But it's not the biggest thing, although for us it is. For me it is,
We've got 9 games left in this season, potentially, Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we go through them undefeated, that's bringing home another trophy and an undefeated league season. That is some aim, isn't it?
That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. And what kind of more praise can you put on Steven Gerrard than doing that? And it's really his first major season, to be honest. Because the first season where he was up against what do you call him, the tranny man, and then he got rid of the tranny man. He ran away. But they still beat us. In the second season, like last season, they did just divvy the league up. Didn't matter what end they had. Celtic were going to get that league by hook or by crook, and that was it. But now, and this is a crucial season, isn't it? It's his third season, and he's never looked back. He just hasn't looked back, other than the St Mirren trip up there. Other than that, it's been great for him. And if he wins this league and the cup this season, wow!
If we go undefeated in these 9 games, Paul, this season just becomes it's up there with the circumstances. Where we go in Europe, it's up there.
If you think where we were last year, and if this happens, obviously we'll put the league to bed, win the Scottish Cup, finish the season unbeaten. Could that go down as one of the last 16 in Europe? Sorry. Could that go down as one of the best seasons in Rangers history? In my years, probably yes. Obviously, a bit older than me, and Bridge a bit older than me as well. So, but certainly, in my opinion, this could go down as one of the best seasons in my 43 years. Anyway, definitely.
I think that's a definite yes for me in that as well. Look, the circumstances we've been through over 10 years ago has been something that nobody at Rangers would ever have dreamt could happen to us. And here it did happen to us. And we went through with chips on our shoulder, blaming everybody. Maybe we're wrong, maybe we're right, we don't know. There's a lot of people believe there's a lot of skullduggery going on, illegal stuff, but it's never proven. There's nothing they can do. Here we are. We've came through it. From a legal perspective, we came through it. The club's got itself back the way we wanted to get back, and we're here. We're at the top of the league, and we're at the top of the league by 20 points. Nobody can argue that. Just can't argue it. That's a fantastic league season we've had. And we're on the road with a bit of luck. We're on the road to get to the Scottish Cup, through the next round of the Scottish Cup, if we can beat them over the City. Marvellous stuff. Just marvellous. What targets we've got. What targets. And the boys played last night out of their skin. Tremendous.
I accept most of that, Bridge, but I'm not accepting he's 43. No chance.
Do you think he's a wee bit older?
Just a bit, mate. Just a bit. Mate.
Are you in your 50s?
Honestly, Bridge, honestly. I know it's quite hilly down there, mate, but it must have been some paper run. But we'll see where it takes us. Exciting times, but
aye, I mean, as I say, mate, when Gerrard first came in, I'll be totally honest, I had my doubts. I thought, look, I wanted somebody, with a bit of experience, which I think we needed at the time. I thought it was a risky move. 100% I did. But in every which way, but he's proved me wrong, mate. He's he's got one of strength to strength. He's shown his Rangers class. You know, the way he carries the club, he understands the club, he's bought into the club, he gets the club. And that ethos has been carried through into the playing staff and the coaching staff. And then although it's taken his first season, his second season next year, this was never going to be a quick fix to catch them. It wasn't going to be. If anybody thinks that, they're in cuckoo land. This was going to be done and done right. And I think that's the way we said it at the start. It wasn't going to be a quick fix. If it took 2, 3, 4 seasons next year, we've done it in 2.5 seasons, and he's got his first league title. I think we've been very sensible in every sort of place in the club, for Stephen Gerrard to Ross Wilson, James Bisgrove, the chairman, every one of them. I've got this right, mate. Dave King's words couldn't be any better. You know, watch the pack of cards crumble and just look at us now. I would never have dreamt in 2.5 seasons, mate, we'd be where we are right now.
Nice words, mate, but I'm still not accepting you're 43. Sorry.
You know, I was nice words you said there, pal, to be honest, but there's just certain things that I think that the COVID situation with the players, particularly Jones and Edmondson, I think they hurt the gaffer. I think they hurt Gerrard. His players would go out and do that. I think that's hurt him, and it's maybe angered them a wee bit. I think the 4 boys that get caught, or maybe 5 boys that get caught doing what they were doing, there's a different set of circumstances, I would imagine. But
I've been telling you that from day one. I've been telling you that from day one.
What's that, buddy?
I've been telling you the 2 cases are totally different.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm saying that there's different circumstances, but I don't know whether it's more hurt with the first one or the second one. I'm not dead sure. Or maybe
I think you might be right. Angry with the first one, raging, a bit disappointed with the second one. Different circumstances. Port.
Aye, totally different, mate. Totally different. And I think, other Danes fueling the fire, mate. And what I mean by that is just keep having that poke. You know how you poke the bear, mate. They come out fighting, and Rangers have been proving this time and time again. You know, try as they may in any which way they can to derail our season, but it's not working, mate, is it? We're absolutely blasting it, and we're not letting these wee stupid things that the media and all these wee stories that break and the things about the COVID players, etc. None of it's affecting the team, mate, and that's important for me, because sometimes that can creep into your mindset and derail your season or upset your season, but it's not working, mate. So Gerrard's got these guys focused, laser focused on winning titles, and I think that's fantastic. He's got a team, mate, I really do.
Zunga and the boy Simpson were on the okay. Not he got a game yesterday. One, I think boy Simpson went with his ankle and Zunga had a hip knot.
I seen that. I seen Simpson over his ankle, which, as we all know, not a nice thing to do. Especially if you've maybe stretched the ligaments a wee bit, then overstretch that. It's very, very painful, mate. I think he might have started, actually, if I'm totally honest. Aye. And Zungu, yeah, I think both of them would have started, which would have been excellent to see them in, getting games. I'm still not 100% on Zungu. I don't know if he's going to get, if there's enough time for him to see.
Enough of him.
No. And I think we're running out of games, aren't we? To pay 3 million or 4 million, whether they're demanding, unless we can do what we've done with Hadji. And Ross Wilson was very shrewd. They wanted more money than what they originally asked for, and Ross Wilson put obviously a better deal together, and we got Hadji a bit cheaper. Unless they can do something like that, maybe where they get him cheaper, that's the only way I see Zungu signing for Rangers.
Okay, get yourself on mute. We're going to have a tune.
Took a trip to Eyebrow, my favourite team for to cheer, where they were playing the Glasgow Celtic.
on the first day of the year. Now the ground was filled to capacity as the teams come out to play. The animals sang the soldiers' song, and the people sang Dolly Gray. Now half-time it came and went on. The Glasgow Celtic were in the lead. Finian Tully was drowning everywhere, shaking his rosary beads, while the green flags, they were flying high. Celtic hearts were full of pride. The second half, sure, it started, and the Rangers, they turned the tide. Won't we play up the Glasgow Rangers? Oh, play up the boys in blue. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. We're here to cheer for you. Now the ball goes out to Walker, and from 30 yards he did score. Sure you couldn't hear your ears at Ibrox Park for the sash my father wore. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. Sammy Cox is on the ball. He slips it through to Willie Woodbarn. Then on through to Ian McCall. McCall to Billy Simpson. Oh, here come the boys in blue. Well, Simpson beats the Celtic centre half, and then goes number 2. Now the Rangers fans are roaring. Jardie Young, he takes a free onto the head of William Simpson, and then goes number 3. Well, it's 3-1 for the Rangers. That was the final score. A happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Fenians once more.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Do you like that, Bridge?
Oh, yes, I'm still singing it. It's still brilliant stuff it was. Absolutely brilliant song, that.
Come on these phones, phone the receptionist. Come and join us. Come and join us. 0141 356 1972. The boy Roof yesterday, Port Bear, scored a couple of goals, hit the post. So his Greasel had a hat trick. He looks a finisher, but in the build-up play, he looks sometimes his touch isn't as assured as some of the other boys in our squad. Is that fair?
That's very fair, mate. If you heard the manager's interview as well last night, he was raging when he got taken off because he wanted his hat-trick. So, but he's definitely that first. I'm thinking, is that due to injury, Oxyar? Is it due to like a playing time that his touch isn't 100%? But he definitely knows his way to go. You know, when that parry's off the keeper and he's there to stick the ball in the pokey, that's where you want your strikers to be red hot. I mean, Alan McCoy's made a career at it. You know, that's where your strikers should come alive. We know he's got the special goal in him as well. But I just don't know if the injuries are hampering, you know, him being 100% next year. I'd like to see him finish off the season strong and get a right good pre-season under Gerrard next year, where obviously he's well documented making these players feeling well, let's just say, at pre-season. And, you know, maybe that'll do him more of a good, mate, with a full pre-season under his belt.
Any thoughts, Bridge?
Well, I've got a sneaking suspicion, in my own opinion, at least Roof and Itten, they really could do, based on what I've seen, they really could do a pre-season. Believe it or not, a lot of folk don't like pre-season training because it's far too difficult, and they would rather just go and play football, But you can see the difference when a player's had a full pre-season. Everything about it's right. Everything's about it's right. Their whole demeanour, the whole lot, get themselves down at the proper weight or up at the proper weight, whatever the case may be. And I think that's what Roof needs. You could see, by the way, he scored 2 goals, and that one he tried to hit the post, and there's another one he had just scraped past the post. Another one last night, just fantastic. 2 goals, unbelievable stuff from him. Never smiled once. He was really serious about his game there. And I thought he's a tremendous player, tremendous. And you think what he's been through after that free kick, or rather the red card he got in the what you got against that Slavia Prague. I thought that was terrible for him. I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. The free kick shouldn't have happened that way. It shouldn't have been that high, and so on and so forth. I thought it was. I just think it was very unlucky, just on the park as a red card, and that takes a lot out of you as a player. So a good pre-season for him, and you might say a completely different guy, but my God, he can score goals. He can score goals. We know that.
I don't think Yenny's. I mean, he got to the ball first, and obviously took the goal, the red card, the dangerous play, poor Ben. I don't think anybody thought he meant it. I don't think there was any malice there. He just tried to do the right thing, and unfortunately the goal he got caught. He's obviously not played since that game. Did he play against Celtic? No, I don't think he did. Didn't come on at all. So he's not played. So there's another 2 weeks he's not any game time. And obviously, Port, he can't get any games at age because of the procedures at the moment.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and you know what it's like. Consistency is everything in football, Oxford. If he was playing week in and week out, he probably gets that ball and puts that ball in the net against Sparta Prague. That's where I think, as I say, I really think that he's lacking maybe 10%. I don't think he's totally out on his feet or anything like Oxford. I just think he needs consistency, playing time. But when Alfie's in the form he's in, it's hard to get him in, the position he likes. But Roof doesn't mind doing the work outside and the playing on the right or the left. So you have got that option with him. But I just think, he's lacking 10-20%, mate. And I think it's due to, not having a proper pre-season, injuries, and lack of playing time at Rangers, mate.
I think the difficult thing is getting your fitness back, because you can't have the bounce games that they would arrange when you were coming back. And maybe him and Scotty and that might have had other games in between first team games, and they might not have featured so heavily when they come back in, they're ready to go. But you can't do that at the moment, so it's difficult for us and it's difficult for all the teams, Bridge.
Of course, it's they're playing football like they don't remember ever been having to play, based on the things that are happening in the country. Normally, football clubs are quite good that way by staging games when needed. Kind of a wee bounce game against you, Partick this and yourself, just to get the players' legs going, or whatever it is that's needed. Somebody come back for injury, let's get a reserve game going. That kind of thing used to happen quite a lot, and nobody bothered. But in fact, they got benefit out of it, So, because a lot of the times, if it was a reserve game, a lot of fans went to see Rangers in the reserve games at Ibrox. So they could have made some money there as well. But I just think that the fitter they are, confidence comes back, all the stuff that matters, eyeball coordination, all that crap, it's all catered for. They've got all the specialists under the sun now to look after them fitness-wise, but they've got to do it. They've just got to get through that pre-season, and away it'll go. And once you get there and you get your fitness back, great.
Yeah, but we'll get 9 games to go. I mean, Atten's not an injury. I think it's different with Roof and the boys that have been injured.
Yes.
Obviously, pre-season you can get games. I think football might have changed by then. Hopefully, Bridge, and they'll be able to go. There'll be no problem playing games. Hopefully,
Yes, I think so. I think it and I really feel for him because he's just not getting the chance to get in, and when he is in, he's not getting a chance. A lot of the time, he's not getting a chance to play his normal game to show himself to the manager to pick him. And every now and again, he might come away a cracking goal or something like that. But I think I've noticed the last time he's played, the last couple of times he's played, he's been doing the role of sort of come and fetch and carry, no fetch and carry, but come up and go for the ball and give it back to the person. So let's ease the pressure, get it to me, I'll give you it back, and then you can do what you want to do with it, because it just creates the gaps, creates the gaps.
What's the number, Bridge, if people want to give us a call?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Phone in, speak to the receptionist, and then you'll get brought into the call. You can speak direct to Port Bear. There you go. Can't say
Port Bear, nobody will talk to him. I'm only kidding. Excuse me. Just joking.
I think when you see Oxford, see when your season stop-start, and that's what way I feel Roof's been. He's been stop-start. He says he's been on a game, he's got his goals, and these wee injuries. It was, I think Andy for Leeds documented when we first signed him, he was injury prone. He had a lot of problems down there, but he seemed, and he was the same in Anderlecht. But he's certainly played a decent number of games in his maiden season at Rangers. But his season's still been very stop-start. He's not had that full run, but maybe 10 games in a trot, which I think really does help players, get that full match fitness. To me, that's what it is, Oxford. I don't think his fitness is lacking. I think it's his match sharpness, i.e. your touch. You know where to run for the passes that's coming through for your danger men like Hadji and Kamara's passes and Kent's passes. I just don't think he's got that, link up yet with them. And I think that makes it very important, because if you look at Morelos, as you touched on earlier on, Kamara, Kent and Barisic on the left-hand side, they know each other's games inside out. And Morelos pretty much knows where they're on today as well for his game. So I just think it's because he's been stop-start, mate, he's not getting that consistency, a level that he needs to be at, I think, before he becomes a first-time starter. Because to me, he's your natural replacement. If all goes well and stays fit, if Morelos goes, mate.
I don't see him as a centre, mate. I really don't, Roof. But his stats tell you he's a good finisher. He's the best finisher by stats at the club. Anyway, we've been joined by Baloo. Evening, Baloo.
How you doing, boys? All right?
All right,
Baloo, mate.
How you doing, Port Bear? Bridge. I'm fine, mate. Just finished my dinner. I thought I'd give you boys a quick bell. I was listening to the show.
All right, thanks very much for that, mate.
And I was getting a complex, Baloo. So I was
a complex about
sitting
what?
down and flying with his fell.
Yeah, listen, when you're getting the pelters on the show, everybody wants to talk to Port Bear. Nobody wants to talk to Bridge now. Bridge is always in mute. You can't get him.
That's because he's swearing that you be his answer.
Not at all.
Fighting off the wife.
Right, Baloo, the floor's all yours.
No, I was going to actually agree exactly what Port said. He came with an injury problem, didn't he? He's something bothered him now for some years. I think the big man. He's always he seems to be injured quite a lot. But it looks like we've maybe got specialist teams that are they've found. But who's that young boy that came up for Liverpool? The one that Gerrard said he was going to be like a real star midfielder, and then he got injured. He was captain for the England under-18.
Yep.
You know who I mean?
Rossiter.
That's a very one.
I really fancied him. I thought he was going to be something else, and it's just injury that pushed him out. And I think they found out where it was with him. So it seems like they might find out where it is with the big man as well. So, and I'm with you. I can see what you mean, Oxford, that he's maybe no a number 9, but do you know he gets goals, mate? He really does get goals. He seems to be, maybe more like Ali McCoist. I mean, Ali McCoist was never a number 9 really, in the true sense. Not like Haley was. So I think maybe he's more like the sort of goal grabber at McCoy does, and he just needs somebody around about him. So,
It'd be interesting. I mean, you can't argue with his strike rate.
It's brilliant.
His strike rate's pretty good, and obviously he scores some fantastic goals,
Aye.
I mean, if he retired for football tomorrow, mate, he'll always be remembered for that goal in Belgium, won't he?
Oh, totally. I mean, Bert Gorman still remembered for the one at Hampden, isn't he? So, I love him. But no, that's a really clever player that comes up with that. That's some of his stuff's been great. Some of the goals he's had, he's been really good. And then the other day, poaching, and like you said, the one he got off the post as well. I mean, he's just unlucky. I mean, one of the boys last night, I think it was Andy, but I'm not sure, said that hope to hang on to Morelos, and Andy as well. I mean, there's no a man amongst us that doesn't want to hang on to Morelos. But if we do lose him, I think we'll get plenty of goals out of the big fella if we just stick him in the middle. And let him do his work. I really do.
Interesting. I just don't see him as a 9 at the moment, mate.
What do you fancy him as? What do you think he should be doing?
I think if you were playing him, he'd be perfect in a 4-4-2, and when he's played for us, he's joining in for that right hand side.
Aye.
And maybe that best good form we had, he was playing in that position, scoring goals, making goals, and getting involved. I mean, that's only my opinion, but I've been
it sounds right. Sounds right. I mean, let's face it, he was up with Defoe last night, and Defoe, he's not a number 9 in the true sense either, really, is he? But he's always liable to get a goal just about anywhere in the box. So maybe they sort of complemented each other a bit better, and maybe that's why they've changed Alfie's sort of style, just to sort of try and get him, not just to be in the middle of the box all the time, just to try and work the area around a bit. Because Alfie's turned into some player this last season.
Wonderful player. Wonderful
player.
Player.
Absolutely fantastic. And if we don't get an absolute fortune for him, I mean, let's face it, if the troubled people on the other side of the city can get 25 million for a right back or whatever it was, then surely we must be looking at least that.
See, he's injured again, the right back. The left back.
Apparently, aye. I like the comment. Did you hear what Martin Taylor said?
No.
Martin Taylor, when he was coming off, he said that's him achieved 9 matches in a row. He just didn't get to 10 in a row.
Stinger, that one is a stinger.
That was meant. That was meant.
Love it. You were mentioning, by the way, you just kept mentioning the big man. I'm assuming you were, initially started to assume you were talking about Itten, but it's actually Roof you're talking about, isn't it?
I'm talking about Roof, aye.
That's fine, no problem.
Itten's a boy to me. I mean, I know he's 24 now, but he's still young for a striker, 24. 26, 27 is when they get to their peak, roughly, is it no?
Yeah, he's got to have another few games. But it's not just getting to know your players that you're playing with and your team. You've got to get to know who your opposition is as well. And it's crucial. There are certain positions in the park, it's crucial that you know who you're playing against. Because they can destroy you or they can make you,
Aye. But he's got a wee bit of craft. I mean, he's quite, and he's a
I think he's a smashing. I do think he's a smashing player.
He works very, very hard, and he's got good feet. He's clever.
But I'll tell you this: there's nobody. If they're going to try and outwork Alfredo Morelos, they're going to have to go some, because that boy is nose to the grindstone constantly.
He's just an animal.
We're so good, such a good season. I think such a good season, but tremendous. I absolutely love the guy. I think he's great. Very exciting. Best player we've got by a mile.
And considering what he's been through, I mean, I don't even think a lot of the bookings and red cards he's had were appropriate. I didn't think they were right at the time. And when you consider what he's went through with the officiating up here, he's shown some character to just continue on and keep the chin up. And also change how he plays as well,
Yeah, if somebody like Anthony Stokes can go through the Scottish leagues and possibly some English leagues and no get sent off as many times as he should have done, because that's an animal, that Ian, and he got away with murder.
Do you remember the assault at Ibrox? Do you remember that assault he did at Ibrox?
Hibs, aye.
Swinging on his neck?
Aye, he jumped on Tab's back.
Aye, that's unbelievable
stuff.
The Papach tackle.
That was a shocker. That was an absolute shocker. He got away with all that. He got away with all that.
Day long.
But we need to change some of the rules or laws of the game, because the officiating, and it's no great in Scotland, but some of our recent European games have demonstrated that the Europeans are not a great deal better either. With some real dunderhead refereeing our games, and I would like to see changes made to the game. I think there's some changes should be taking some of the decisions out of the referees' hands, because they're either partisan, either like somebody, or else they've not got the bottle, and in either case it's not good enough. So I think we should be making changes to the laws of the game or the rules of the game to make sure that these people don't get the opportunity. See the last Slavia Prague game. In the first 15 minutes, I don't know how many times they hit Kent, but because it's no the same player that's hitting them all the time, there's no protection for him, and the referees don't seem to have the sense to actually pull the captain aside like they would have done probably about 30 years ago and said, right, you tell your boys to line up here or whatever. Imagine trying that with Danny Morton. I don't think so.
Well, they're not looking at both sides. They're not looking at the amount.
No.
All they're seeing is different people fouling a guy.
Aye.
And they're going to deal with the person's doing the fouling.
And
Hold on a second. That team's got a plan. They're hitting this guy.
Totally. That's exactly what I'm saying. And you saw Kent twice. He was actually hobbling after the tackles. I mean, it wasn't as if he just got up and brushed it off and walked away. He was hurting a wee bit, So, and that's in the first 15 minutes. That's not acceptable. That has to be changed, I think.
We've got too many people that are willing to do that, as we've seen. Too many people willing to do it.
And the officials they don't seem to have the
not
smart
interested.
to deal with it.
Particularly in Scotland, may I say,
No, I agree with you.
As Rangers, doesn't matter. Just go on with the game. Just incredible.
How did we manage to win any games this season then? Just asking you.
Do you know, see, when you think about it, that's a good question. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've been brilliant on the ball, we've been great at moving it really quick and all the rest of it, and that's caused the other team so many problems. But I think the amount of penalties that we had showed how efficient we were. And managing to beat the amount of teams that did the low block or the double low block against us, I think that's brilliant what we did this season. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Really, some great football at times as well.
Yeah, outstanding for me. Me
too.
Actually, their football would have been a lot better without all these clodhoppers coming in and trying to wreck some of our players' careers. That's basically what it felt like,
Aye.
But I mean, it's a good question, Oxty asked, but the truth of the matter is, you've got to wonder how come it happened. How come we got a really good footballing side? How come the referees don't see the bad tackles going in, or they just ignore them? Deliberately, they actually see it happening, but just ignore it. And that's not right.
I'll be honest with you, I think there's been times where, if you think back to last season, the game at New Year, Parkhead, when we actually won the game, it was one of the worst refereeing performances I've seen.
Wow.
But I think somebody's pointed out on the show, I think you supported it below, is the refs are poor, but the ones in the continent aren't any better, and I think they're either going to have to look at the training or they use the technology we've got right and make sure it's consistent how we use it. I don't think them. I mean, when we lost at Love Street, there could have been a red card for the St Mirren player.
No, it should have been
But
a second yellow, was it?
Apart from that, I don't think the referee didn't have a great hand in the game. He gave a penalty kick. For me, it was a penalty kick. Bassey got caught in the wrong side of him and was naive. It wasn't a great foul, but he'd done enough. We'd have been looking for a penalty in another boxer. I just think we've got to watch that we don't turn into a team across the city, mate.
Well, I don't see us doing that.
I would doubt very much if that would happen, but the truth of the matter is there for everybody to see. The League Cup final against that mob, you saw it there. They were all over them, and they got a goal for nowhere. 3 men offside. That's unbelievable. 3 men offside.
That was the linesman, or you use the technology properly, Bridge.
Correct. Correct.
Aye.
But that's a good point, definitely, about the technology. because I don't know how they work the offside rule. You know, it's like, you know, you can't
Changed
go
again.
You can't. You what?
It's changed again. You don't. You're not really offside until you actually touch the ball in an offside position.
Aye.
I mean, it's a rubbish, you know.
Aye, it's just time waste.
Somebody's going to get hurt badly.
Aye.
Better believe it. Better believe it.
I think it's time to drop the offside rule. I don't think the offside rule is valid anywhere. I mean, when the game started, I mean, I don't know when the offside rule was introduced. I think it was the 50s or something. I'm not sure. But there wasn't an offside rule in the beginning, and it's one of these things. It's, you know, it served its purpose at the time, but now it's a wee bit outdated and it's a wee bit hard.
You couldn't have a game of football with the offside, mate.
You don't think so?
No, mate, it just becomes a different game. But aside up the pitches, mate.
Aye. Get back to the old rule. If you're offside, you're offside. You know, if you're on an offside position.
None of
this second phase, you know, this carry on that this Oxshire touched on, and he's right. It's going to change when somebody gets hurt, and more often than not, it's going to be a keeper that's going to get a badging, or a defender, or the striker. Somebody's going to get a bad one, I think, in my opinion, before they have to look at it and change it, because somebody's going to get. I've seen it. It happened. Was it McGregor that happened to with the Golson clash?
Aye.
And that was. I mean, that could have been two players, maybe out for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
And then
you know,
Kamar Roof as well.
Yeah,
exactly the same situation. Wasn't it? So.
Exactly, all because of this second phase. If you're offside, put it back to where it used to be. If you're offside, you're offside, and that's it. Then there's nobody but any, you know, is this right or wrong? I don't get it. I understand it. I understand the rule of the second phase, etc. And you deliberately get guys who'll stand offside and then run forward to get themselves onside. I understand the whole thing, but it's not right. It's not right.
That's what Big Golden does at dead ball situations.
Aye, he does. He does.
He does it very well too, doesn't he?
He does, aye.
Van Nistelrooy made a career of it. Van Nistelrooy
He did,
always
he
do
was
it.
a specialist at that, wasn't he? Specialist at that. Centre half shouting, just leave him, he's offside, before you know he's standing beside the centre half. Here and here. Hello,
in the
bye
back,
bye.
In the back of your net. Yep.
That's it, yeah. He obviously played with some people that could do that as well. You know, they know the rules, the proper rules, and they can work them and tell the referee too when the referee makes it right. Hey, that's not right. I did such and such, and it was okay. But then you could talk to referees as well. I must admit, you know.
Oh, that's another thing.
Aye, I'm not saying the referees are great. I'm just saying that we need to watch. You know, we've not lost a game in the league this season. You know,
amazing, isn't it?
Long may it continue.
Just amazing.
Hey, by the way, see the money these boys get?
no in Scotland, mate.
They not get 800 a game.
They're on. Do you know what they're on in that Premier League, mate?
Aye, but 800 a week up here is good money. If you're doing 2 or 3 matches a month. But I don't know what they're getting in the APL. What are they getting in?
Well, I think we get going about 120,000 a year, aren't you?
Are they really?
They're salaried. It's a full-time job for them down here.
Oh man.
I'm not saying it makes it better, does it? But the thing is, at least they're all professional, you know. You don't. Unfortunately, our guys are all semi-professional, I would imagine.
Do you know one thing I like about the English refereeing in the EPL and stuff, and even the Championship, is because everything goes through St George's Park. The referees got boss, if you like. Mm-hmm. They don't have to rely on these compliance officer people. They've got a boss that they can go to. If they make mistakes, then their boss raps their knuckle for making mistakes, and they get, you know, some of them have been put out the Premier League and put into the Championship, or some of the ones been put out the Championship and put into the First Division. That's happened down in England. Our referees, when they make blatant mistakes, there's no punishment, and that's one thing I would like to see, because I think if you're all of a sudden you're punished and you're not going to maybe getting the same number of games a month, see you're not getting your 4 games a month like Blues Touch, you know, you get £100 a game, which I didn't know. If you're all of a sudden getting 2 games, well, you're sort of been culpable, and you're being punished for what you're doing. So all of a sudden you would stop doing this crap.
Mr. saying you're at Celtic Park for 6 games in a row or something like, what? A holiday.
I just think it's to be more professional, Bridgeman. I just think our refs are becoming a laughing stock. I really do.
I think it's scandalous that, just for saying sake, a support like Rangers and what our team's playing, and every official has got a name that we could tell.
But
what
you
their
know what?
persuasion is.
We don't know what team they boys support.
Of course we don't, but we've got a good idea, and that's
How
what I
have you?
mean. They're
How
just
have you?
doing that.
How
How
have
do
you?
I know?
You've-
How do I know? For goodness sake.
But really, it shouldn't matter. I mean, let's face it, we're all brought up in Scotland, mostly in the West
We
Coast.
never lost that game neither, did we?
No.
You know, that is funny, but you've got to watch, you know. Remember where we are.
Well, maybe that was a challenge for them.
No,
Referee
remember
bats.
where we are, yeah?
Yes.
All right. Okay. On you go, Baloo.
No, I wasn't. I was thinking aloud there. New subject. What are we going to talk about? What about? No, I'm lost. I need to come up with something because we were only talking about it in particular there. So,
Well, we move on to the Hibs. We're starting to. Well, we'll not be looking at the Hibs game yet, but we've got a break. And Jack and Tav, what you thinking for it?
I don't think we'll see Jack the rest of the season next year, if I'm completely honest. I think I read something today where he was doing seeing a specialist in London. So we've managed quite a bit of the season now without him, mate, and I think it'd be maybe unwise to rush him back. Tav, I think Patterson's done enough. I know Hibs are a different level for Cove Rangers, but young Patterson done it in Europe as well. Depends how fit Tavernier is,
We're going to
mate.
assume that the boys suspended for the Hibs game, aren't we?
Aye, well, of course, aye. So
You know,
if Tav wants to play, mate, he'll play. I think he'll be asked the question.
with ligaments, mate.
Is that what's up with Tav? I didn't know it was up with him, mate, to be honest.
Ligaments, mate, on his knee, mate. It's all right running, and you've then got to kick
Yeah.
the ball and build that
Oh.
up, mate. You know.
Well, if that's the case, Tav's definitely out then as well. He's definitely out.
You know, he's back on the grass. It's how far down the road he is,
Aye.
and there's luck as well. How far you've stretched him, you know.
No, definitely. Oh, 100%. I just don't know, as I said. I don't know if it's difficult, mate. I don't know if I'd rushed them back. I know we want to finish this season unbeaten and stuff, but who else plays in that position? Do we continue with Balogun over there without Patterson and Tav? That'd be your only option, wouldn't it?
Aye. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yep.
Feel sorry for Ryan Jack, but hopefully he gets his fitness back soon.
What yourself, Oxford? Do you see Ryan Jack back this season?
It doesn't look like it, mate. If I'm being honest, I wait to see a specialist.
Yep.
That sort of suggests he needs another tidy up or something. And then if he does get a tidy up, well, say 6 weeks, mate. We're only 6 weeks away from the end of the season. He's not going to get any game time in.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. What are you thinking, Bridge?
Yeah, he's going to be very lucky if he gets back. I think knowing the few people I know that got that type of injury, it takes a long time to get in. I've never done the series of what he's got, but you can do ligaments in your ankles and it takes a while, you know. But sometimes you're back on your feet and able to run about with your mates training. So by the time it comes back to be able to kick the ball, a lot of the fitness is there for you, you know. But it likes that when they're bad, you know, because he couldn't do nothing. And now he's back on the grass, so he's able to probably run a wee bit, but no get involved in the ball, which is causing a lot of problems. But yeah, I think I agree with you. It's going to be tough. End of the season, 6 games to go before the end of the season. It's 5 games, in fact, at the end of the season. So goodness knows. I don't think he'll make a league game. I don't see it.
Can I ask you another wee question, Oxford, please?
Yes, mate.
Have we missed Ryan Jack?
We missed him against. We missed fit Ryan Jack against Sparta Prague, mate.
I think so.
Particularly against Sparta Prague.
But have we missed him in league then? That will maybe change the question a wee bit. What about the league?
Oh, but we're undefeated. The stats tell you that we've not missed him because our results have been all right. Aye, we have missed him in my opinion at times. Aye, he helps us take us to the next level, drags us about the park, and he works off us so hard. You know, And he obviously scored the odd goal as well.
Aye, definitely. I mean, he's a player that I do like, and I really like him. I love Ryan Jack, to be honest. But it just what it's done for me, and what it showed me that since he's been out, other players have stepped up to the mark, haven't they? You know, you've got the amount of people who've played in there, Aribo, Arfield, they've all stepped up.
Have you maybe took the last 5-6 games when Scotty's been playing and I fit Ryan Jack in that position, and the times when Aribo's been there and you could have played Aribo further up the park? Bridgeman, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think he's a right man. Personally, I think we've missed Ryan Jack, particularly for the Rangers, the last Celtic game. I think you see when he's playing against Celtic, he comes to life a wee bit, you know. So he likes to go in, doesn't he? He's fearless, and he feels he needs to be doing what he's doing, and I think that's what we've missed there. Other than that, in any other games, no, I have to say proudly that we haven't really missed them in that respect, because the other teams were playing, we've beat them anyway. We've managed to get past them with a bit of ease. Some of them were only 1-0, but we still got past them. So I think, yes, we did miss Ryan Jack. I think Ryan Jack, one of my favourites, must admit. And I think a couple of seasons ago, I thought he would have been the captain, Rangers captain before Tav. That I was wrong there, of course, you know. But I still think he's a tremendous player for us. Tremendous. Again, another end of season transfer person. Love it. Just love it. Bring them in. Great quality.
I would agree with that. I would say I would think that we did miss him in certain matches. Overall, obviously, the results have been good and not a lot of room for complaint. But I think we have missed him. I think he contributes quite a lot. Just sort of stiffens up that back area. I mean, that's where the way we've been losing goals when we do lose them. I think possibly it's that area he'd have been working in anyway. So, and it kind of surprises me a wee bit, even in this day and age, that we've got two guys like Roof and Jack that have got niggling injuries that continue to bother. I mean, that's now been a couple of seasons that Jack's been bothered with this. And obviously it came with big Kemar Roof when he came to Ibrox, so he's been carrying that for a while as well. So you wonder what the sports scientists and all that sort of stuff are coming up with if they can't get to the bottom of these things, and what the surgeons are doing. I mean, you remember big Marvin Andrews when he did his knee ligaments, and you know, that's when we were going for, that was Helicopter Sunday season, Matt, and we thought we were going to lose him. I mean, I think it was something like 8 weeks before the end of the season, and yet the big man played on, and I was like, he can't play on. It
was a miracle. It was a miracle.
It was. Do you know what it was? It was his training. Do you know that? It's because they said that he trained like a rugby player. They said he had thighs like a rugby player, and that's why his knee ligaments weren't so much a problem, because the way these guys train, they build up the thighs and the quads and all the rest of it. And that's what really protects the knee. So it's something to do with the way we train modern football players that, you know, these guys... I mean, I remember seeing Willie Henderson had thighs like my torso, for Christ's sake, and he is about 5'2", you know. I mean, I know he was taller than that, but what I mean is that...
Not much.
But, you know, massive thighs. And Souness, remember when Souness came? I mean, these guys were massive round about the thigh area, and it was just because of the way they built up their training. So that Marvin Andrews thing taught me a lesson, because that's obviously what happened to Durante, and we all thought because it happened to him he was going to be done and we weren't going to see him for a season, and yet he played on for weeks. So it's a strange thing, I think.
I think with Jack Rovers, for me in the team, I think we raised the level of our team performance, but he also gives Tav a lot of cover, doesn't he?
Oh,
because whenever Tav's bombing forward, Jack's there to cover. I think that's for me where Jack comes into his own, because nobody else seems to be able to, you know, quite just do that same covering job for Tav when Tav's going forward.
Exactly, it's like the sort of thing Candias did for him. He made him a better player as well, so... it's the amount of work he was in the same area. Up and down the
he's only played 18 times this season, Ryan Jack. He has had a stop-start. My understanding is it's 2 different injuries he's had.
Is it really?
You know, 2 different injuries, aye.
That's
so hopefully we'll see where it takes us, and we wish him all the best, Porter.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
it's quite tragic. I think it's quite tragic for the boy. He's got a fantastic future ahead of him as far as for the next maybe 5-6 years. If he can get his fitness back to where it should be. If he can ever do that, I don't know. But,
He did a bit of luck in the professional game, Bridge.
oh, yes, indeed. Oh, absolutely. It's a take no prisoners game at times, Take no prisoners.
Is it two? Am I right in saying next year it's two injuries but on the same area?
I believe so, mate.
Aye. Yep. I just know, obviously, because I'm attending at the hospital at the moment, that over old knee injuries, and I'm going for like my third operation on the same knee. So through football, so I get sort of how long it takes, recuperation, etc. for
There's
knees
a lot
to.
of that in Port Glasgow. They call it Alward Boy knee down there.
Have you done a new knee or something done?
No, it's
No,
sort of.
just when you said the old knee. Old knee injury.
No, I'm not old enough to get a new one yet. That's what they tell me.
You never know.
I'm
You
not
never
old enough.
Cartilage.
Don't take your
Aye,
first
aye.
send them a 40. You'll be fine. You'll get it done.
So you've had a couple of serious injuries on one knee.
One knee, mate, my left knee, aye, yep. And this is the third
Well,
time
in fact,
been
that is the
dropped.
altar boy's knee, innit?
I don't know, did they get in the left knee, mate? I have no idea.
Yes, that's common. Yes, that's
Well, you'll be fine, mate. I'm bone in my right knee, so it's not a problem. Trust me.
Aye, yep.
Not as bad as you think.
Oh, just sounds sore, doesn't it?
Aye, doesn't sound nice at all.
It does sound sore, I must admit, but it's
And what are you
worth it.
doing about it then? What are you doing about that bone on bone knee?
He's had to gear up. He's had to gear up the downhill skiing. Apart from that, everything's all right.
I had that done in 2011. It was cartilage surgery, and they took away the last of the cartilage, and I came out and he said, he said, bad news. He said, you've got stage 4 osteoarthritis. I said, what's stage 5? He said, a new knee. I was like, oh, thanks very much, mate.
What's the good news?
I'm absolutely fine, and I do a lot of walking and running about the place, so trust me, it's not as bad as you might think it'll be. And do you know now they can grow cartilage? You know they can do that?
No, didn't know that.
I met a guy up at Loch Lomond Golf Club a couple of seasons ago, and he had cartilage inserted in his knee. They took a stem cell transplant, something like that, and he said they grew the cartilage in a petri dish, right? So they grew it in a lab, and then when it grew to the right amount of size, they inserted it in his knee. And I think he was in the third season of playing golf. The guy was in his 60s. And he said, honestly, it's back to normal. I don't know how expensive it was, and he had to go to Germany to get it done. But that's what they did. They actually grew a new cartilage and put it in his knee.
That's a wee bit different for the old Killarney Hospital when they used to take you in there and nearly kill you.
I ask you if you wanted an anaesthetic.
Aye. We'll just sort this cartilage. In fact, we'll just take it out, sir.
Is that new slippers you've got? Just give us them. We'll gear them back when we're finished. We don't need new slippers. All the best to Ryan. All the best to Ryan Jack.
Aye.
He needs it back.
Absolutely.
No, see what it takes us. Tav has got a chance this season. He's got a chance, but it just depends how he takes when he goes and kicks that ball, Porter.
Aye, because, the way he motors up and down that side of the pitch, mate, the way he twists and he turns, he does, put a lot of pressure on his joints with his movement and stuff. And then obviously the way he strikes a ball as well, he's striking the ball for free kicks, corners, and again, he's striking that ball at weird angles if he's trying to get whip on the ball or dip, swerve, whatever. So again, you're stretching ligaments, which you wouldn't usually. So it depends on how it might come back, mate, and be not as advanced. He might come back and be told to, not go forward as much. I don't know, but I dare say it's happened before. Ibrox last year, you can get a tailor-made plan to suit a player, especially a player that is injury prone or a player that has got a problem with his hip, his knee, etc., his ankle. You can tailor-make tailor-made programmes for players, and I think that's what they've been doing, if I'm right, with Jack for a couple of years. I'm sure they've been doing that with Jack for a couple of years, just nursing his injury and managing his training, etc. And I think that's it. Aye, I thought that, Blue. So I don't know if that's what they do with Roof. I've no idea, but I think we've got the right guys in Tappet, mate. And maybe if Jack doesn't see the rest of the season, but gets a full pre-season under his belt, gets that injury once and for all ever fixed, that could be the difference, mate. To make it a very fit Ryan Jack for next season.
All right, I think we've been joined by Denver. I think Denver's with us. Evening, Denver.
How you doing?
All right, mate. You?
I doing all right. Aye. What's you?
Good to hear from you. What's on your mind, mate? What's on your mind?
Just thought I'd call you up because I thought Port Bear was feeling a bit lonely because nobody else was calling in.
Thanks very much, Denver Bear.
So
Thanks very much, mate.
By the way, you know when it's bad when even Amanda doesn't phone in, eh?
Oh,
I
aye.
Don't worry. I keep noting. Obviously, this is Port's night, and we know what he's doing, and he's obviously chasing the people away.
No, do you know what? I know why Amanda's not phoned in Oxshire. Because George for UK's got the phone tonight, sure.
Aye, it's her turn, is it? The two of them are going to batter us when they see us. By the way, Southside always looks forward to Amanda phoning in. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
dear. You're going to laugh, Denver, eh?
Oh, aye. It's all part of the deal, innit? We're all laughing nowadays, eh? Yeah, I tell you, I've not spoke to you since the Old Firm game. So, Celtic are 1-0 up, right? And it's 15 minutes or so to go. And I lose service completely. I lost all my service to Rangers TV. So my boy's texting me and he's saying, he's done it. And I'm saying, what the F is going on? I have no idea what's happening. After 15 games, praying for Alfie to score, I miss it. I miss his goal. Unbelievable, man. Surprised you never heard me before there, man. I'll tell you.
You've been a big fan of Morelos for day one, mate, haven't you?
Oh, I love the wee guy. I'm in total agreement with Bridge. He's the best player at the team. No doubt about it. He's just fantastic. And, I'm so happy he's managed to grab some of the English language here. And now he's doing wee interviews and all that. That confidence boost for that is incredible, I try to talk to some of the Spanish guys speaking here, and I just shiver up. You just go, they're going to rip the piss out, so entirely with it, But
it's been good for us, Morelos.
What's that, brother?
It's been good for us, Morelos.
Oh, aye. What a boost that boy gave us, and it's not just his goals, but his all-round play. He's passing, Oxman. His passing's perfect. He very rarely misplaces a pass now, I just love the wee guy, I just love him. His daft faces and all that, He'd fit in right out here with all these Mexican guys and all Colombian guys and all that.
What a shocker!
The Colombians, he spoke to them. Did they know about him? Denver?
Aye. There's a guy, a sales guy, and he's from Colombia, and I've turned him on to the Rangers now, because his first question to me was Rangers or Celtic, and I said, do I look like a terrier? And he had no idea what I was talking about, So I've turned him on to him. So he's following the games, and every Monday morning he's having a conversation with me about the Rangers. And he doesn't get to see the games, but he's talking about one. He came out of my house to take in an Old Firm game, but I don't know that that's the place for the boy. I think maybe his ears would be burning.
I may not understand some of the words if I'm being really honest. Then.
Well, that's true. I speak a different language altogether here.
He's improved greatly, Denver, isn't he, in the 3 seasons he's been here?
Man alive, unbelievable Port, and what he brings to the team, and when he scores the goals, but he's all round play. I mean, he's back defending and all that. It's just incredible, man, what he's brought to the team. I love him. I just love him to bits, man. I've
Yeah,
got
I
a
know.
feeling that I've got a feeling he might stay another season. You know, because hopefully we can maybe qualify for that Champions League. You know, and I just hope he can stay one more season, get one more season out of him. You know.
I think if he's advised correctly, Denver, unless he gets an opportunity to go to a team that's going to be in the Champions League, why else would you leave Rangers when there's a
That's
chance
right.
to put yourself there and obviously raise your stock? Steven Gerrard mentioned it in one of his interviews during Europe. He loves the Europa tournament and he knows why, with a nice big cheesy grin in his face. And we all know why, you know, but you know, you don't be Einstein to work it out. We definitely know he's a player, and he's a player that people are watching, and that's down to the development since we think when he came in for Helsinki to now.
Aye.
His development's been unreal.
Aye, this season, you know, he's just been beyond anything I could have imagined. You know, I just love the wee guy. I love him, mate. But aye, so the game yesterday was all right. The game was fine yesterday, and you know, I'll take my hat off to Cove Rangers because they defended well in that second half, and we didn't get a chance to score. But my only complaint about yesterday is we didn't shoot often enough to the edge of the box.
Try
You
to
know, we're
score
trying to walk.
goal, wouldn't we?
Aye, we're trying to walk the ball into the net and all that. And that, you know, you have a shot every now and again. I mean, the Defoe proved that, battering that one into outside the box, you know.
What's your thinking of the boy Wright that's come in?
He's a player. And that goes, you know, I've been thinking, you know, we always say we don't watch the opposition. And it's true enough, but it's just as well the backroom staff watch the opposition because we wouldn't get players like that ever. You know, because I know when we played them at Pittodrie, he played a wee bit part in that game and he looked a wee bit of a player, but I didn't think he'd be as good as he was, you know. I think he's got a lot to learn, the boy, but he's enthusiastic and all that, and he's always looking for the ball, you know. So he's got a wee bit of competition for his place there now, you know.
Are you enjoying him, Billy?
Oh, definitely. I agree with what Denver said. Yesterday, I thought overall he played really, really well. I said it before, I love it. He gets the heat up and he gets forward as soon as he gets the boys away. But a couple of times yesterday, maybe the middle third, he get caught up a wee bit. A couple of times he was sort of caught daydreaming, get caught on the ball. But don't get me wrong, he was surrounded. He had 2 or 3 players running about him, so it wasn't always a straightforward pass. But I think he get caught 3 or 4 times. He get caught in the middle of the park when he could have been doing better. But that's going to come. That's going to come with him. So no, this boy's a quality player, and he's got some burst of speed when he gets going as well. See, get away from somebody. No, quality player. I mean, that boy turned in for the goal, for Roof's second goal, was just beautiful. He's a good player.
I'm enjoying him. So far.
Here, pal. Here on that one. Brilliant.
Aye.
I'm enjoying him. Bit of pace about him as well, Denver, eh?
Aye, he leads them deep for deed, you know, and just his final ball a couple of times has not been great, you know, especially that one against the Terriers, you know, where we were against the Terriers, you know. So, aye, you know, once he gets that pre-season, he'll be a good acquisition, man. I'll tell you one guy I'm concerned about the new though. See Scotty Arfield. I think that previous injury, I think that's taken a big toll on him. And I know he's not had a lot of game time, but I just feel he's a bit short, and I feel that maybe that's one injury too much for him. I've just got that concern at the moment.
I don't get as much fit, Pat. That's all. I just don't think he's not recovered from the injury properly.
Aye, but I don't.
He's a bit void of confidence.
Aye. He's not the same Scotty Arfield. I think he's just that previous injury is just taking its toll on him. You know, I'm concerned he's going to come back to what he was. So, but it's not a criticism or anything like that. But I just think once you get to that age, you know what I mean, Bridge? Once you get to that age, that you know, he just maybe just one injury too many. You know.
Well, Denver, Baloo, we never went for quantity tonight. We went for quality with the call.
Well,
yes.
Thank you very much.
Port Bear, you up?
Aye, Denver and Baloo, thanks very much for phoning in. As I said, I was having a bit of a complex. I'll be giving pelters to the Facebook on all your YouTube loyals tonight. They'll be getting pelters for not phoning in. Must be all watching a game of football instead of phoning us on here at Rangers Radio. But it's been a great night, Oxgear, mate. Thanks very much. And Bridgeman and the backroom team of Fox and Old School Blue. What a night. Good night.
What about you, Bridge?
What can I say? Once again, what Corby was saying. A wonderful night, another great night. Great discussions. Really good, deep discussions as well. So I think Rangers are well quoted when they're talking about Rangers Radio. That's for sure. We'll look after them. And can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us, and so do they. Keep it going.
Well, thanks to Bridge and Port for joining us. Thanks to Denver Ballou for taking the time to call us. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. And this is Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. We'll be joined by young GB. Everybody will be glad to know. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Get your haircut tomorrow, Bridge. Sort that out. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Sure, I was dreaming of old Ibrox, of her slopes and great grandstands, and I dreamed about the Rangers, the best team in the land. When my memory suggested of a vision bright and clear, of the strange things that would happen if we had the Rangers here. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Brian Laudrup came from Sandy Road, and Alistair Coyce came from East Belfast, and old Belfast became then old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, sure no green flags at that game they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roll, and all the boys would stay at home if we only had the Rangers over here. I dreamed about her Ulster men who wore the shirt of blue, Bertie Manderton, Sam English, Norrie Hamilton, McCandless too. I have dreamed of Whitey McDonald, who came from Lisburn town, and the greatest, Billy Simpson, who never let them down. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Brian Laudrup came from Sandy Road, and Ali McCoyce came from East Belfast, and then old Belfast became old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, then no green flags at that game they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had Glasgow Rangers over here.